Hello everyone, and welcome back to UnWine with Fifi. So it feels like it's been a long time because I shot the last two videos obviously about two weeks ago. So last week I didn't have to do any videos because obviously I had the other half. It was such a long video thanks to Irene taking over the channel. But anyway, that was a great one. I've had great feedback, so thank you to everyone who commented. I will be doing more videos like that just to get more personal so you guys can know who Fifi is. I'm sure you guys got to realize that I'm not this calm actually. I'm a bit crazy, but I did say that from the beginning. So what am I whining to today? I'm having, I want to say this correct because this is the first time I'm actually having these wines. So remember the last time I mentioned that I've got a supplier now, the Good Taste people. Hey, shout out the Good Taste people. Thank you. So they've sent me all these black owned wines, and today I'm having a 2015 Pinotage from the Mhudu. Yes, I'm saying that correct. Mhudu winery. I was just reading up on the wine farm, and it's such a beautiful story because actually, so I'm just gonna read here. I want to get it correct. So Mhudu comes from the Setswana word. I'm from, so I should be saying this correctly. Mhudu, which means harvester. A great African story tells the tale of a heroine Mhudu who fled her war-torn home in search of new beginnings. Mhudu symbolizes strength, courage, relentless pursuit of one's dream against impossible odds, and the celebration of hard-earned triumph. Be a part of this journey. I mean, it really is an amazing story. You can go onto their website. I will put a link on for their website, and you get to see the family. I mean, I think that Mamsi Rangaka is really an amazing woman, and the whole Rangaka family. They're amazing. You don't find a lot of black families who own their own wines, and I mean, I think it's a beautiful story. So I will put the link so you guys can go check them out. They're really amazing wines. So this is a 2015 Pinotage, as I said, and as you know, Pinotage basically you should be having it with your tomato-based foods, or you can have it with a good steak, or like myself, just the wine. Okay, so yeah, they've got a great range. I had a Cab Sav, Cabernet Sauvignon the last time. They're really great. So I will be having more so the Good Taste people sent me 2 cases, and I haven't been disciplined. I was just like, yo, Netflix, let me open a bottle of wine. So I'm like really trying to be disciplined here and only open these special ones, especially when I'm unwinding with you guys. So yeah, there's more to come that I'll be chatting about. But this is the Pinotage, and it's very good. I can get a hint of cherries, some vanilla, I think. My nose is not so disciplined as it used to be. So yeah, that's good. This is really, really good. So what are we chatting about today? So I'm currently at work recruiting for the next cohort of learnerships, and I had some inspiration yesterday actually for what I wanted to speak about. So so it basically the basis of this conversation is starting from the bottom. You know that Drake song, started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team. But anyway, so that's the whole basis of this conversation, starting from the bottom, right? So I had a young lady last year who I invited for an interview, great CV, and I invited for an interview, but it wasn't for at that moment in the function or in the department that she had studied for. So she studied finance, and I was looking for learners in our operations. So baby girl, I call her up, come through for an interview, and she asked like, is this in finance? I said, well, no, it's in operations, but there is an opportunity for you to rotate within the business, right? Mogel says, no, thank you, I'm good. I'm like, okay, cool. I understand you want to obviously work in the department or in the function for which you studied for. You studied 3 years or 4 years. It's very understandable that you would want to pursue what it is you work in, what you studied for. But bear in mind the high unemployment, the high youth unemployment rate in South Africa. So anyway, fast forward now. I will edit that out, it's okay. So we had the situation with the washing machine, so I had to pause. I'm back now. I can't remember where I was. But anyway, so the whole situation is this girl, I invited her for interview last year, but it was for operations. So it was like operations and she's in finance. Well, Miguel is like, no thank you. I was like, okay, cool, I understand, that's fine, absolutely okay. Fast forward a year now, or a couple of months, actually it's 6 months, because this is like, 6 months. She's applied for this role, and well, she's applied for this group of intakes, and let me just do this. Sorry, I just want you guys to see our beautiful bookshelf. Anyway, so now she came in, and I didn't recognize initially the CV or the name CV, because I can be a little diva at times. So had I recognized, I would be like, oh, can we get a last year? No, thank you. No, we're not doing that. But anyway, I didn't recognize the CV, and then in her interview, our the HR lady actually recognized her and asked, why did you say no 6 months ago, and what's changed to now you wanting to now come through? And she mentioned, oh, now that she's been working wherever it is she's working, she realizes that there's no room for growth, there aren't opportunities. So right now she's willing to take any opportunity in a big organization where she knows there's room for growth, right? Which is great, amazing, right? So she's then interviewed for, we interviewed her. We haven't given feedback, obviously, and I can't remember what the decision is. But I mean, this is a very smart young lady with the right qualifications, and she's got everything going on. But I think she's a prime example of how a lot of us young people, in what I'm experiencing with the space that I'm in, are, I don't know, shooting themselves in the foot because you're not getting what it is you want at the time that you want it, right? So it speaks to the fact that we all have to start from somewhere. You have to start somewhere. I make a prime example of somebody who I'm going to interview soon. He's about to retire. He is our vice president and has been a great mentor to me. But this is somebody who started literally picking up boxes, and now is vice president, and not just like here in Southern Africa, but he's been vice president, like he's been all over all the continents, working, grown really within the organization. And he came in with a qualification, and look now, 36 years later. It's a long time, I know, but we'll be able to hear about that when I interview him. So anyway, I was having this chat with a few of the girls in the program, that I chat to, them just rock up in my office and just sit there, and then like Fifi this, Fifi that. I'm not gonna call them out by name, but they know themselves. So so I'm not gonna call you out by name. But anyway, I was having a conversation with one of these girls, and we were talking about, you know, starting from the bottom, and I was sharing my journey till now and how I've had to do things I did not want to do. You know, I mean, I started, you know, I studied hospitality management. That was my first, qualification, and I then went to do my in-service training for 6 months at the Beverly Hills Hotel in Mhlanga. So obviously, you know, you're getting in new experience. I've never worked in a hotel before, and you have to get the experience of running the whole entire hotel. Obviously, as you're coming in when you're in varsity, I mean, most of us, the goal was to become a general manager of a hotel, you know, and then seeing on from there. I mean, my goal was to become CEO of Tsohosan because I don't play small like that, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to be a general manager, but if I'm gonna dream big. So my goal was, I'm doing this degree and I'm going to further it out and, you know, it was national diploma, so I was going to do a BTech in hospitality management. I was going to do a postgrad in something, then finally eventually an MBA, you know, while moving up the ladder in the hospitality industry, and more especially in Tsohosan, because that was the company that I really wanted to work for. So I was working for Tsohosan and I came in as a trainee, and it was not pretty. It was not pretty. You know, you come there, you've seen the girls from hotel school, we got our skirts, you got your blazer, you got your little scarf there, your court heels. I mean, it was, you know, I'm coming out, I'm feeling myself, and it's like, please fetch us coffee. And you're like, excuse you, me, coffee? I just studied 3 years. I'm not fetching you coffee. But, you know, I humbled myself and I fetched that coffee shop. Fetched that coffee, no spilling, nothing. And that was like, I literally think my first week, it was just that. Like, you know, like looking at who's doing what and observing and fetching coffee whenever somebody wanted coffee, because it is a stressful environment. And then got to move around, you know, through the various departments. And I remember I was in housekeeping. Now when you get to housekeeping, you have to start from the bottom, obviously. Like learn ground level work. And ground level it's dirty. It's literally like you get your housekeepers who are going through each of their floors, the rooms, and they change in the bedding and all of that, and they bring it downstairs. And there's people who sort the linen. There's people who like pillowcases there, the cover sheets there, there's this there, all that. And that's what I had to do, literally. And the first day you're like, this is dirty work. Can I have some gloves? Babes, by the third day I was just like, okay, I was here. I was just sorting and throwing things around and, you know, sanitizing later. But I think the second week, you know, you start doing the floors. So running around when somebody in the room says, can I please have a toothbrush, or I please have some fresh towels. I was the girl fetching the towels, housekeeping, and running to the 8th floor to go get the towels, okay? And I remember one day the minister, Lindiwe Susulu, was in the hotel and she asked for fresh towels. And I ran. The elevator was like busy. I was like, this is a whole minister who I love, because apparently, you know, there's some resemblance somewhere. So anyway, that was when I was still skinny. So anyway, I ran up 8 floors to go give the minister her towels. But yeah, I only did that for 2 weeks, and then the assistant housekeeping manager, who's now a good friend of mine, she was like, stop doing this nonsense, you know, come, let's go, and you're gonna start doing the rounds with me. I think she realized that I was very, you know, I wasn't lazy, number one. I was keen to work. I was hungry. I wanted to do more, you know, wanted something more challenging. So for me, it was, let me do all this mundane stuff quick, and then, you know, get to the more challenging stuff. So she recognized that, and then she called me to come through and start working with her. So that was like really for me, like you coming from doing a qualification to doing dirty work like that. And most times it's with people who have no qualification whatsoever. But it's important to remember that this is not it for you. This is just me learning the groundwork so that when I get to the top, I understand what's going on at the bottom, right? So, I mean, even when I started with our current organization, I was an intern in marketing, and don't ask me. It's another story on how I got from hospitality to marketing. But yes, I came in as an intern in marketing, and even then, it's a new organization. The manager doesn't really know. I mean, I brought a lot to the table, but obviously she didn't really know what I could do, what I was capable of. So it was mundane things that I was doing, you know, spreadsheets and invoices and all of this. But I kept my head up and I did it. I rocked up to work every day. And for a good straight 8 months, I wasn't doing much in terms of challenging what that I was capable of. I ended up actually looking for work to do. So I would, you know, go to the communications manager and I was just like, yo, Narato, please, I need work. And so she would give me work to do, and that's how I think I got the exposure and how other people could see that, oh, this girl is capable of 1, 2, 3. She can actually, if we give her work, she'll be able to do it. So I went out of my way. I was like, okay, I'm going to do these invoices quick, 1, 2, 3, and then please give me work. And that's how I got recognized in a way, getting involved in the bigger projects because this person trusted me. But I didn't have an attitude of, listen here, I have 4 years qualification or 3 years qualification. This is what I bring to the table. I'm not gonna do this. Because once you get to that, once you have that attitude, then us as an organization or me in my role, I'm like, okay, so we are, you know, it's about teamwork. So you're not always gonna be doing something that you enjoy. There's aspects of your job, every role that you do, we all know the admin stuff, everybody hates admin, you know, in whatever role you are doing. But you have to do it, you know? And if you don't build that, the discipline to do the job that you don't want to do, the little stuff that you don't want to do, then how are you going to get to the big stuff? How are you going to be able to do, how can I trust you with the big stuff, right? So attitude is really important, and I think, you know, considering the high youth unemployment rate that we have in South Africa, you have to put people on the table, and maybe sometimes that means you studied finance, but the only opportunity that is there for you is in a warehouse, picking up boxes and scanning, you know. As long as you get your foot in the door in the organization, number one, you show your drive, you know, your hard work, your attitude. So with all that said, 3 things I want to close off because I don't want to keep this for too long. I don't want to have you sitting and watching 20 minutes like the last time. What's wrong? You guys know who I live with, right? Anyway. So firstly, I think have a great attitude, you know, have an open-minded attitude in terms of this may not be, or the opportunity that comes towards you. So cool, I know. The opportunity that arises may not necessarily be in the field or in the field that you studied for, you know, but it's about getting your foot in the door, especially with a huge multinational organization like the one I work for. Get your foot in. I mean, even like an organization like Sun, for example, if you are in the hospitality industry, get your foot in the door, you know. If that is just what you can do. Like my first permanent job was switchboard operator. So even yes, with my 3-year degree, my job was to answer phones and then transfer the phone to whoever I need to transfer it to. So it was literally, hello, thank you for calling the Beverly Hills. You're speaking to Fifi, who my director called to. Housekeeping, I mean, not That's closer. But reservations, okay. Reservations. Restaurant, okay. Restaurant. And that was what I was doing. But I knew that this is not where I'm going to end up. This is just foot in the door, and then I'm going to work my butt off, work hard, learn as much as I can, and move up. So I had that job for 1 year, and the reason I left is because I was deciding to come back to Johannesburg to study further. And I mean, just as I was leaving, actually there was an opening in front office, and I was in line to get that position potentially. So already within that year, I had made a mark for myself, and I was getting recognized that, you know, Rashida can move into this role. Because also the other thing is, I didn't just box myself into that role as well. So whenever I had free time, or if I was off, because you get 2 days off, and it can be a Monday or a Tuesday. So if I didn't have plans and the manager calls and says somebody called in sick, can you come in? I was like, sure, I'm gonna come in. What else do I have to do? I don't have a child, I don't have a dog, still don't have a boyfriend, didn't have a boyfriend there. So what else do I have to do with my life? So I had that attitude of, yeah, sure, you can call me and I'll come in to work. So that is also one of the things that I think got me, or gave me an opportunity to be recognized in my work ethic, right? And with the last, when I joined the current organization, as I said, I didn't just box myself in that role to say, okay, this is where I'm placed, so I'm going to do what the marketing manager says I must do. If she doesn't have a job for me or anything else for me to do, I'm going to go out there and find it, right? So don't box yourself in. Have an open mind. Have an attitude of, if you know where it is you want to go, get your foot in the door. And sometimes getting your foot in the door is not necessarily in the department that you want to be in. It could be that you studied finance but are going to get in operations, for example, and then you will be able to, within that, move eventually to the department that you want to be in. And frankly speaking, guys, I mean, I don't think a lot of us are in a position to be very picky with the way the economy is set up. It's rough out here, you know. So you have to pay your bills. You have to put food on the table. There's, debts probably, and all these other bills that you have to pay, the student debt and all these things. So for me, it's always like, okay, when you are trying to give, an opportunity to somebody, but because it's not what they want, they're just gonna turn it down. I mean, yeah, sure, unless you have other options, great for you. By all means, go out and pay for them. But if there's nothing else, are you gonna go back and sit at home? I just don't understand that. Okay, so yes, broaden your mind. Have an open mind, and then be very clear with yourself what it is that you want. So that question that they always ask you, where do you see yourself in 5 years or in 10 years? It's not just to be funny or anything, but it really is also for you to think about where actually do I want to be. So if you studied logistics management, for example, and you come in for an internship and you're in operations, where you're going to rotate, or you studied finance but you are placed in operations, if you know where I want to be in 5 years, which is a finance manager or finance then you're better able to draw up or to plan to say, what is my next step? So you come in as an intern in operations, that's a 1-year contract, or within that 1 year, how do I look for other opportunities within finance, and who do I need to go and speak to, and who can I speak to, who can help me to make sure that I land or move into that finance role that I actually want. So you can only do that if you're very clear about what it is you want and where it is you want to go. Because if you're not clear, then you'll be stuck in that position, and people can just push you to where they see you fit best, and it may not necessarily align with where you want to see yourself. So remember, we all start from the bottom, Everybody starts from the bottom, all of us. I really, unless you like a transferred baby or with family company and family fortune and you just graduate and take over your father's seat or your mother's seat in the company, sure, great. But everybody else, you have to start from the bottom. So remember that and keep that in mind when you are applying for internships or entry-level jobs. You all start from the bottom, and it's actually beneficial to you because when you get to the top, you need to understand what's happening on the ground. Now, if you just shoot up straight to the top, people at the ground, they can lie to you and be like, yeah, you know, this is not working because 1, 2, 3. But if you're at the top and you've been to the bottom, you know you're bullshitting me. This works because I've done it. So it works. Great. Thank you very much. Welcome to thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, it's not a TED Talk, guys. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed my little rant. My little big sister talk. That is me giving advice. Hope you guys take it. Enjoy it. Things in this house don't have manners. Eh? If it's not the laptop making noises, the washing machine, it's in Boomy. No manners whatsoever.
What did I do?
No manners whatsoever.
Yo, I want to go to Dubai, bro.
Okay, that's my cue. Cheerio.